welcome back to our channel. So today is going to be, yes, like you read, another story time. It's going to be about my pregnancy and labor and delivery. So if you guys want to hear more about my story, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Hold on, let me take a quick bite. Okay, so let's just go ahead and talk about how Babers and I found out that we were expecting. Okay, so I just want to share with you guys that Brian and I did plan Penelope, but I just didn't think in my head that I was pregnant this time because we did try a lot and the result always came out negative. So that's why I didn't really think much about it this time. So before I actually went to go take a test, I was feeling a bit sick. I had a really bad stomach ache and I thought it was just like a stomach flu or something. Like everything I would eat, I would like gag and I would feel like throwing it up, but I didn't throw up, but that's how I felt. Like I always had a pain in my top part of my stomach, and you know, I never wanted to eat. Like I lost a lot of my appetite. So I was just like, okay, well, you know, it's just a stomach flu. Babers, he had brought me Pepto to like drink some of that, but it didn't help. My mom even gave me like tea and like we did all of that and it just was not, you know, going away. So then Babers was like, oh, by the way, Babers is Brian, my husband. We just happened to give that nickname to each other. So anyways, he told me, he was like, babe, like, I think you're pregnant. And I was like, I don't think so. Like, I mean, I've gotten like a stomach ache before, like, and it's the same symptoms, so I don't think so. And he's like, well, I think you should go take a test. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out positive. And I was like, okay, like, I'll go take a test. So then the day, like when I go take my test, I was at school. I took the test at the clinic at my school. So I remember my comadre Joanna, she was with me. And we go into the, you know, I make an appointment and I'm there sitting down. So I go in and there's this really nice lady who, you know, she came up to me and she was like, okay, I'm gonna give you this and I want you to like pee in the cup so that we can take like a urine test. So I went and did that. I take the test. So yeah, she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go and go check out if they have the results ready and then I'll come. I was waiting for about 10 to 15 minutes and they felt like forever, dude, like forever. And she comes in, she's like, okay, you ready to hear your results? And I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, yeah, you're pregnant. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, you're pregnant. And I was like, wow, like I'm pregnant. Like I was so happy, you guys. I was happy, I was scared, I was in shock. Like I had all these emotions all like that I was feeling, and I was like, oh, thank you, God. You know, like this is a dream come true. Like I'm about to have a baby with my Babers. Like I was just like, oh. I was walking and then I came up to her and I was like, dude, I'm pregnant. She was like, shut up. And I was like, no, I'm serious, I'm pregnant. She was like, shut the fuck up, Marlene, like stop playing with me. And I'm like, I'm not playing, Joanna, like I'm pregnant. And then I show her the paper. I still have it to this day. Like, oh, you are pregnant. She was like, oh my God, Marlene. And she's like, congrats. And I was like, thanks. And then when I was Babers, he was gonna pick me up at school, and I called him and I was like, oh babe, like can you come pick me up already? And I swear to you, I was this close to telling him, babe, like I'm pregnant. I was just so excited. Babers finally comes and we get in the car and I just look at him and he was like, what? And I was like, babe, I'm pregnant. He was like, what? And I was like, I'm pregnant. He was like, oh my God. And then he just started crying. And then like I got all, you know, teary-eyed. I was so happy. And then right away he ended up calling his Nina. And then he told her and she was like, shut up, you guys, like stop playing. And then we're like, no, yeah, for real, like we're pregnant. And then she started crying. So then we're all just like crying, we were just being a little emotional, and it was just so exciting. And so then after that, we went straight to a ob-gyn place. I went to Complete Women Care in Lakewood Regional Medical Center. I honestly had the best experience there. They treated me so well. Customer service is really good. Like, everyone knew me and they always said hi to me. They always asked how I was doing. I had to fill out some paperwork, and they gave me like the date where I had to go and get my ultrasound to see, you know, how many weeks I was. So yeah, we go back into the car, and I told Brian, I was like, babe, okay, like, how are we gonna do this? Like, we need to figure out how we're gonna tell our parents, you know. And that, I was really, really scared for that, especially for my parents, guys. Like, my parents are strict. They've always been strict with me. So, like, obviously it's not like that anymore, but back then they were really strict. So I was really scared, especially to tell my dad. So, you know, he was like, okay, like, do you want us to tell my parents first, or do you want to tell your parents first? And I was like, honestly, I just want to get it over with. And he was like, okay. So we decided to surprise them, and we decided to do something really cute for them. We got a basket, like an Easter basket. Inside we put like a baby product. Like, we got them a rubber ducky towel. So we got that, and then we also got like a little gift card. We also put in our first ultrasound picture. So we did that for my parents, and for Brian's mom, we also got an Easter basket, and we put in also a gift card. We actually also surprised Memo, Brian's brother. We surprised him too. We also got an Easter basket, and we used a baby onesie, but it had like a little firefighter truck in the front. So yeah, like we did that for him. We have the first, you know, doctor's visit, and to this day I have the video where we hear Penelope's heartbeat.
Very good.
And it was a very emotional moment for me and Babers. Like, we couldn't believe that a tiny human being was inside of me, like, healthy, you know, like growing each day. And we were just so excited. We were so happy. We were so blessed that she was healthy. My doctor that I had, she doesn't work here anymore. She was a really good doctor. She was Dr. Ruhani. She was a really good doctor. She treated me well, and she told me that I was 7 weeks. So that was about like 2.5 months. And I was like, wow, like, I've been pregnant for 2.5 months. Like, that's crazy. And then we're like, well, no wonder, you know, I was sick and feeling like this, and you know. So yeah, like, pretty much she told me, okay, your due date is scheduled to be on November 17th, 2016. That was Penelope's due date. Now we got ultrasound pictures. Well, let's fast forward to a part where we, you know, tell my parents. So we told my parents first. We come in, and I already have it, you know, and my mom was in the kitchen. My dad was getting ready for work, and I put the basket on the counter table, and I was like, Mom, Dad, you know, like, I have a surprise for you. And then my mom, like, just by looking at my mom's face, like, it's like she already knew. I don't know, but like, I just seen like her face, and I was like, whoa, like, I think she knows. And my mom looked inside, and she seen the ultrasound picture. She was like, oh, Marlene? She was like, you're pregnant, you know, in Spanish. And I was like, yes. And she's like, ¿por qué no te cuidaste? Like, how come you didn't protect yourself? And I was like, Mom, like, this is what we wanted, you know? And she's like, oh, like, she didn't say nothing after that. Then my dad comes in, and he sees, and he was pissed, you guys. Like, he was so mad. Like, he was like, why, like, would you do this? You know, pretty much. He was just like saying all these things, and I just started crying. Like, I was very stressed out. I was very overwhelmed. Like, I honestly, you know, like, I had in my head, like, my dad's gonna be really mad. But then I also wanted to be like positive about it, and I thought that he was not going to react the way I thought he was. So I thought he was gonna be like, oh my God, like, no way, you know. But honestly, like, what father is gonna be super happy that their baby girl, you know, is pregnant? Or I could be wrong, I don't know, you guys. But that's how my dad reacted. He was really mad. He was like, I want Zeus out of here, which is a German Shepherd dog that we used to have. Want you out of my house, like, get all your stuff, like, leave, pretty much, you know. He was hinting it, and I was like, okay, like, you know. I just left with Brian. I went to his house, and I was like, wow, like, that's not how I thought it was gonna turn out. So then I was feeling really, really, really sad. Days went by, like I started getting my clothes and I started getting out. Magda, he did not want to look at us. He did not want to say hi to us. He didn't want to talk to us. Like, he didn't want to do nothing. So we're like, okay, like we respect that. We understand that he's mad. So, you know, Babers was just like, just let him cool off. Eventually he's gonna have to talk to us. So, you know, it's okay. And I was like, okay. Okay, so now let's fast forward to when we told Brian's mom. So when we decided to tell her, I believe we were celebrating Sunny's birthday. Like there was like just immediate family over at the house, and like his nana was there, his cousins, his mom, her boyfriend Renee. So sorry. So we were all there. So then she was like opening Sunny's gifts, and we're like, open our gift, open our gift. And she was like, you know, opening it. And she's like, huh? Like she's confused. And then we're like, read the card. And she read the card and it said something about like being a grandma. And she's seen the ultrasound picture. She's like, oh my God. And then Brian's nana, she was like,
oh my God. She's like, what?
It was so funny, you guys. Yeah. And then, yeah, like, so pretty much, like, they were all happy, you know, they were like, I can't believe it, like, you're gonna have a baby. And then Brian's mom, she was like, I'm gonna be a grandma, like all this stuff. She was like so excited, and honestly, like I needed that because I was feeling, you know, overwhelmed and sad, and like just seeing the reaction really like warmed my heart, and it was just amazing. That same day, we went to go visit Brian's brother, Memo, and there was a couple of other people there too. Actually, Lizzie, you were there. If you're watching this, remember? You and Marco were there. I think we were like the same, kind of like this pregnant together. We're like, oh, we have a surprise for you. And we're like, here, open this up. And he opens it up. And he takes out the little onesie. It was so cute, you guys. It was like a premature onesie. And then he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a Theo again. Like, I'm so happy. Congrats, you guys. And we're like, thank you. He was just really happy for us too. And it was just, you know, it was a very wonderful time, like, of the years. No, yeah, it was like really awesome to, you know that some of our family members were happy and stuff like that. And, you know, as time went by, we were keeping it a secret. We wanted everything to, you know, first come out good, and then, you know, post it on social media. I actually didn't want to post anything until I was probably like 8 or 9 months, but I just couldn't help it. Like, I really wanted to share it. After that, you know, I was already out of the house, and I was feeling really homesick. I was stressed out. I was really sad. Now let's talk about the symptoms, guys. After I found out how many weeks I was, then that's when my symptoms started happening. So I couldn't drink coffee anymore. I mean, they say that you're not supposed to drink a lot of coffee when you're pregnant, but I couldn't have a sip of coffee, like nothing. I couldn't even look at the Starbucks logo, because then like I'd get super nauseous and like I'd want to throw up. Like, it was so bad. Like there would be times where I crave like caramel frap, let's say, and I would go get like a small one. After that, throwing it up. Like, I would just be throwing up nonstop. It sucked. So I did throw up. I did have a lot of crave for sweets. I didn't have any crazy, you know, cravings, none of that. I actually loved to eat quesadillas like a lot. Like, that would be my to-go thing. Like, I would always eat that. Every time I would come to my mom's house, quesadillas. Like, that's all I would eat. When I was barely pregnant, I had the iPhone SE, which is a small one that looks like the iPhone 5, and I had a pink case over it. I couldn't look at that case, dude. I couldn't even look at my phone because then I get super nauseous. That's weird, huh? Yeah, I couldn't hear the song Needed Me by Rihanna, because then I would get super nauseous and I would want to throw up. Yeah, it was so weird. Like, I remember when I told Brian, he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know what is wrong with me. Like, I don't understand. Like, it was crazy. But other than that, like those were all my symptoms. Obviously, when I was around 8-9 months, like I had really bad backaches. My chichis were like super swollen. Like it was crazy. I did get stretch marks on my tummy. My fingers would swell up only after I would wake up. Like in the morning, they would swell up so bad. So bad. Where like before I had this beautiful ring. Before I had this ring, Brian gave me a promise ring and I slept with it on accident. And I woke up and I couldn't take it out of my finger. It was stuck. My finger was so fat and purple, like I couldn't take it out at all. Like I used everything, the floss, the soap, the hot water, and it didn't. We had to fucking go and get it cut. It was crazy. Oh my God, we're all being chismosas. We thought that the little kids were gonna get in a fight right now. It's because yesterday there was a girl fight out there in front of the house and I missed it. You couldn't even tell that I was pregnant. It just looked like I haven't pooped for a long time. Pretty much. Huh, it didn't really look like I was pregnant.
I look like you're pregnant.
Little by little, I would come to the house and I would grab all my clothes and stuff to take it. And, you know, my dad was still not talking to us. And Brian was like, you know what, I'm going to go up to him and, you know, just settle things because I just don't like how it's so awkward and, you know, he's not talking to us. Like, he's going to be Penelope's grandpa. Like, he needs to talk to us. I honestly don't know, like, what they talked about, but I know they had a really good talk, and my dad was just like, you know what, like, I'm just really disappointed because I wanted her to first finish school, get married, then have kids, you know, the traditional way. And he was like, I didn't mean, you know, for, you know, to kick you out, like me. He was like, it's just I was really upset and you can always come back whenever you want. I think it was much better. Like, you know, he started talking to us and like he was more open with us. And my mom too, you know, as I got bigger, they would touch my belly and like, then like, I remember when I felt Penelope first kick. You know when you hold your fart and like, you like feel like there's something in your stomach? Like a pop or something in your stomach? Like it felt like that, like it felt like a fart, like. But then I was like, wait, like, I didn't need to fart though, like. And then I told my mom was like, pendeja, era Penelope, te pateó. And I was like, oh. I was like, oh. Every time, like, my sister would talk to her, she would move. And then every time my mom talked to her, you know, when a lot of people talk to her, like, she would just move. And there was this one time where I would go like this on my belly, and then she would move too. She'd be like all I see is just like little movements. Yeah, it was so cute. I remember. Aww. I remember when also like when we were gonna get told like what the gender was. We went, and then she was like, "Okay, do you guys like want to know what gender your baby is?" And then we were like, "Yeah, you know," and then she started like looking, and then she was like, okay, looks like you guys are having a girl. And we're like, yay, like a little girl. And then right away, like we had already had our names listed out for, you know, boy and girl. So I was like, okay, we're gonna name her Penelope. And then Brian was like, okay, I'll choose the first name, so then I'll choose the middle name. And then obviously her last name is gonna be Brian's last name, Madrigal. And yeah, so I chose Penelope, and then he was like, okay, I want her to have Veronica as her middle name. Veronica is my mother-in-law's name. We were planning to do like a gender reveal, but honestly, we were just super excited. Like, we just wanted to tell everyone like right away. And I remember Brian, he messed around with his mom. He was like, Mom, like we're having a boy. And she was like, shut up, like no. Because like all of Brian's Brian's side, they're all boys. My mom's side, like they're all girls. So my mom wanted a boy, and then his mom wanted a girl, and then like, you know, it was just crazy. And yeah, it turns out, you know, we had a girl. And then she was like, shut up, like, it's a girl, huh? It's a girl. He's like, no, Mom, like, it's a boy. And then we're like, just kidding, and it's a girl. She's like, oh my God, yay! Like, she was so excited. It was like her first, you know, girl in the family, like his mom's side. And yeah, you know, everything was just so exciting after that. Things eventually got better. You know, the pregnancy in general was not hard. The only time it started getting harder was obviously when I was already like 8-9 months. When I turned 8 months, that's when we had a baby shower. There was no theme to it. It was mostly just like pink, light pink and gold all together. My mom helped out a lot. Also, we looked up like on Pinterest how to make like the decorations and the centerpieces. My cousin's mom, Anna, also did that, helped out. And then my cuñada, Brian's sister, she helped make the flowers for like the backdrop and stuff. So everything was just really, everything came out so cute. You know, thank you to everyone who came to the baby shower. I know I'm saying this like a year and 2 months later, but like, you know, just thank you. And also like for my mother-in-law for helping Brian, you know, put up everything on the day of. Thank you to Karina, if you're watching this, for doing my makeup, girl. It came out real good, let me tell you. I got a lot of compliments. Thank you to, I believe her name is Jessica, for doing my hair. She did vintage waves. It came out really cute. We got a lot of presents. And yeah, everything was so much fun. The games were fun. You know, everyone had a great time. We had tacos. Everyone loved the tacos. It was so good. When I was about 8 months pregnant, there was like a little incident that happened. It was like a rainy day. I was wearing my slip-on Vans and we were going out, and I slipped on the steps outside, and like all my weight went on my left ankle, and I fell, and I started crying because it hurt bad. And I remember Brian was laughing, and he thought I was laughing too, so that's why he was laughing. And then he seen that I was really crying. He's like, "Oh shit, like, are you okay?" And I was like, "No, like my ankle hurts a lot." So then I had to go to the emergency. I was there for about 3 hours, just waiting. Everyone kept staring at me because I was pregnant. And it turns out that they did x-ray on my ankle. I fractured it, and I had to be in crutches, and I had like this little ankle thingy for like to stable it. And being on crutches and being pregnant is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life, honestly. But then after that, like, everything got better. My ankle was a bit swollen, but then it just went down. I had to ice it. When I was already 9 months, I went past my due date. I was feeling cramps, but it wasn't like bad ones. So at first, like, when I went to the doctors, they told me that they had already set up a date for me to get induced because I passed my due date. I was already like 40 weeks. So then I was like, damn, like, I'm gonna get induced. Like, I heard it hurt. I was scheduled to have Penelope at Long Beach Memorial, but the hospital next to it, the one of the children. Honestly, having Penelope there, I had like a really good experience. Like, the nurses were so nice. They treated me really well. The doctor was really, you know, good at what she had to do. And she was really nice as well. Like, it was just the best experience ever. Like, I was so blessed to be able to have a good birth. So the day after they told me that I had an appointment to get induced, then that's when I started having, you know, like contractions. And they would hurt. So then Brian was like, okay, like, let's go to the hospital and see like what's going on because they're hurting you. And I was like, yeah. So then we go, and she was like, oh, you're only, you know, open 1 centimeter. Like, you can go back home. If your contractions get worse, then just come back. But as of right now, you're good. And I was like, okay, like, you know. So then we go back home, and you know, we lay down ready to go to bed because it was about like 11 o'clock p.m. We're ready to go to bed, and they just started coming more and more often. I was like, babe, like, I can't. Like, I tried to sleep it through and I couldn't. Like, it hurt so bad, and the pain was so bad that it made me want to go poop. Like, it was crazy. I was like, oh my goodness. So then he was like, okay, like, let's go back. So we went back. She was like, oh, like, you're back. And I was like, yes, like, they're getting worse. Like, they're coming often. When we were waiting in the waiting room, like, when I would feel like I would get a contraction, like, I would shake my leg and I would hold on really tight to the like handles of the chair, and I was like, fuck, like, just pass already. Like, it hurts so bad, you guys. Like, I can't even explain the pain that contractions feel like. It was so bad for me. It's crazy how it's so easy to make a baby, but when you're ready to have the baby, I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, it's crazy how us women go through this to have a human being like that's crazy. Like, we're strong, we're awesome. Like, hey, girls rule. I get put into a room and they're like, okay, you're still only 1 centimeter open. I ended up getting into a little hospital gown, and they told me, they were like, we need you to walk for like at least an hour and a half to 2 hours so that you can at least try to open up. And I was like, okay. So then, you know, I was laying down and they were going to put in my IV in, and I felt like a really big contraction coming in. And I was like, oh my God, like every time they would come, like it hurt so bad, you guys. Like, I'm not gonna stop saying this because honestly, that's how bad it hurt me. And it was so bad to a point where I threw up all over like the room, the floor. I threw up everywhere. I was like, baby, find a trash can. I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. And he was like going crazy. He's looking for something. And he ends up getting the big bag where the gowns go in there. And I was like, no, that's not the trash can. And then I couldn't hold it in anymore. And blah, I freaking threw up everywhere. And I was like, oh my goodness. And the nurse came in and I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like, you don't have to be sorry. And I was like, oh. And then after that, we ended up walking for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Every time I was getting a contraction, the nurse told me that Brian and I had to hug like this, and we had to go like this. And then I had to breathe in and out because that would help out. So we're like this. Like that, dude. Oh my God. We get put into a different room. Time passes by and they were like, okay, like, you know, it's time. Are you going to want an epidural or no? And I was like, yes, I want an epidural. You know, I was scared though, because I've heard so much about the epidural that when, you know, it's like a long ass needle that goes into your spine, and if you move, you can get paralyzed, and that it hurts when it goes in, and that there's consequences like afterwards, you know, after you have your baby because of getting an epidural. So I was just very, you know, like scared. Like, I wanted to go as natural as possible, but honestly, I tried my best and the contractions were too much for me. Like, they were really bad for me. So I ended up getting the epidural. They told Brian to get out of the room. I got so lucky that I did not get a contraction while the doctor was putting the needle in my spine. They make you like lay down. Like, there's like this little head thingy, I think. And then, you know, you lay down like this, so like your back could be like right here. And the end, they put like tape on your back. And then that's when they like do the whole process and stuff. And after that, let me tell you guys, I was in heaven. I would look at this little system where it showed how big my contraction was. I was like, look, I'm getting a contraction and I'm not even feeling it. It was so freaking amazing, you guys. Like, honestly, props to you guys if you had your baby natural. Like, you guys are awesome, because I tried and I couldn't. So then after that, you know, I was able to rest after I had my epidural, and I was able to sleep. You know, I didn't eat anything. I didn't want to eat anything. They tell you not to eat anything because, you know, you can fucking shit if you fucking have your baby. So yeah, I started feeling the contractions again. Like, yes, I still had the epidural, but I was feeling more pressure now. So I remember, I think it was Memo and who else? And Nicole, Brian's cousin. I think they were inside the room, and I was like feeling it so bad. And there was this specific like little spot where I felt it a lot. It was on my left side and the back right here. And I would feel it a lot. And I remember I ate Jello before to at least have something, you know, in my stomach. And I threw that all out. I was in labor for 15 hours. My mom, my dad, my mother-in-law, and Brian were the ones who were in the room when I had Penelope. So they were like, okay, you know, the doctor came in, the nurse came in that was helping her, and they were like, okay, it's time to push. And guess how long I was pushing, you guys? I was pushing for 3 hours straight, nonstop. They told me, are you sure you don't want to stop? Like, we can take a break. Nope. I need to have Penelope. She needs to come out. So I was pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. Then Penelope comes out. Penelope Veronica Madrigal came out weighing 7 pounds, 8 ounces. She was born at 11:41 p.m., 21 inches long. She had a lot of hair. She was super güerita, like super. She was so cute. When I seen her, I started crying. Everyone started crying, guys. Like, it was one of the best moments of my entire life, you guys. Like, you fall in love all over again. Like, you experience a new kind of love. Just seeing what you and your soulmate created, like, wow. Like, it was just amazing. Like, when she was born and they were cleaning her up, she was crying and crying, and Brian went over her and he put his arms over her and he started speaking to her, and she stopped crying and she was just looking at her daddy, and you know, like she recognized his voice. And they ended up putting her on my chest, and I was like, hey mama, like, it's mommy, like, you know, and she stopped crying too. And then, like, you guys, it was just such a beautiful moment, like super, super, super beautiful. I would do it all over again if I had to. It was just one of the best days of my life. Now Penelope is 1. Can you believe that? The healing process after I had Penelope, I don't know if I should say like what happened, because I feel like it'll be too much for you guys. I mean, if you guys do want to hear it, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll make a separate video of like how the healing was, and I can definitely tell you guys. I can also talk about like how my experience was when I went back home with Penelope, like, you know, what I did, what I learned, and stuff like that. So if you guys want a story time like that, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to make that video for you guys. But other than that, this was my story time, my pregnancy, the symptoms, my labor and delivery. So if you guys enjoyed this story time, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. There will be more story times, don't worry. And thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for the support. We love you guys, and we will see you guys next time. All right, bye.